Welcome back, my name is Brandon, and today we've got another aluminum boat dock repair. Stick around. This is what we've got. You can see that the weld is completely broken off here. This is some component for a dock. It was brought to me and I don't know what it is, but check this out. Look how nice that weld looks. Then you tip it up. It's a cold joint. Look at that. Never even adhered to it. So what we're going to do is, first thing, I've got a sketch I've drawn so I can make sure that I put this exactly back together, because we're going to have to grind off all the welds and everything. You can see how it needs to be, something kind of like that a little bit. Looks like it's got to come over a little bit more this way, like that. Then we'll take some measurements and transfer them onto this paper. Then we'll get this all cleaned up, and this is going to be a MIG welding project. That's what was done here. This was MIG, and just they needed their settings dialed in a little bit better. That's the only issue they had. So this side right here, if you look right here, you can see how this will allow us on this side to key things better, a little bit better together. If you watch the fit up right there, and you can kind of see the staining up at the top there of your screen, that's where it needs to be. So we'll take a couple measurements and transfer that onto our paper, then we'll get this cleaned up. So we're at 1.25 inches to the edge of that angle to that plate, and we're at 1.25 inches on the other side. So that'll be 1.25 inches, and this is also 1.25. And that also works out to be 31.75 millimeters. Now we'll measure this. That's 2 inches. That's 2 inches. So this will be 2 inches. That's also 50.8 millimeters. Now I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to mark this as up, just so that I know that this is my orientation. And I'm going to mark this as up, so that for whatever reason, if these holes are different or whatever, it's all going to go back to the way it should. So this will be up. That marker's done. Up. Up. The next thing I want to do to clean this up is get rid of all this extra weld here and here. You can see it's got a pretty good amount there and a pretty good amount there. And the fastest way to do that would just be to run this down the bandsaw, and then we can clean it up with a grinder. Yeah, it's quite a lot better. Make it a lot easier on the grinder. Save on our grinding discs. If you guys want to see how I built this fixture table and these clamps, I'll have a link up above. You can check it out. Now that we've got all the weld ground off, now we'll go over it with a stainless steel wire brush and clean that all up so we can get ready to weld it. Alright, so with everything prepped now it's time to put it together. So we'll bring our diagram back out, and you can see we got the arrow up here, and we're going to correspond that with the arrow up there, so they're all facing up. And then we were 2 inches down, so it was equal on each side, and then 1.25 inches in. So there's 1.25 inches, there's 2. Just like that. We'll double check everything. Okay, that looks good. Just like that. That's what we need. That's just like our diagram. And what we're going to do is we're going to obviously weld all of this, but we're also going to weld the backside too, just to give it a little bit more weld material on that. Plus, once I get this tacked on, it'll allow me to try this probably in a place where it's not necessarily going to be seen, to make sure that my settings are just right. For this repair, I'm going to be using my Yes Welder YWM 211P, and I use this exclusively for welding aluminum. And I'm using it with a spool gun using Blue Demon 35 thousandths diameter wire, 4043 is the filler metal. These are my settings. I'm using 16 volts, 130 amps, and it's kind of machine dependent. Generally, when you're in the 20 volt range, you're up in spray transfer, but for this machine, I think it runs a little off on the dial, so I'm just going by what looks good and what feels good. And for gas, I'm using 40 CFH of pure argon. So this right here was 20 volts, and you can see what it did is it completely blew right through the backside. This was 17 volts. That also blew through the backside, which is not ideal. This was 17.5, and you can see how it's got a little bit of soot, but it's got some good cleaning action on it. And then this is 16 volts right here, and you can see the cleaning action along the toes. It looks good, not a lot of soot, and very little transfer coming through right there, which is not overly desirable, but you can see that one right there, it actually burned right through it. That's why we settled on 16 volts, 130 amps. If you guys are looking to get into MIG welding aluminum, I have an awesome video that's really popular that shows you how to convert your wire feed MIG welder. As long as you have a provision where you can add argon gas to it, then you can weld with aluminum. And I have a real popular video that shows how to do that. I'll have a link up above, you can check it out. Aluminum is really toxic, so make sure you guys are wearing a respirator when you're grinding it or welding around aluminum. It's not good for you. That's getting a little bit better, guys. I had to adjust some settings and change some things around to get that profile, but that is actually wetting in really nice, and I'm happy with that. So let me show you what my settings are now. Now I'm at 17.5 volts, 159 amps, and I think that's pretty much the sweet spot for that style joint. A lot of times, guys, you just have to try it and do it, and unfortunately I didn't have any 3/16 metal around. I had some 8, and tried to do with what I could, but I think we're in the sweet spot now, so this should weld up really nice. And with aluminum, you want to try to push if you can versus dragging, because a push motion is going to give you better cleaning action because it's putting the argon gas ahead of your weld puddle, preparing it for when the weld puddle lays down. So, you know, it's not always ideal. I mean, I pull as well when you have to, but if you can push, that's the better way to do it. You can see the cleaning action right there, guys. You see that haze outside of that? That's letting us know that it's getting all that oxide out of there. That that worked out really nice. Now for this joint, I'm going to increase the voltage just a little bit more. Let's go to, let's say 18, try 18.1, see how that works. Here it is, guys, just a nice simple project. We've been doing a lot of aluminum dock repairs lately. Everybody's trying to get their docks in the water and getting all the repairs done, and you know, a lot of this is from freezing up here in the winter in Maine. It just can cause a lot of problems. I don't know what broke this or what caused it to break, but he definitely won't have any more problems now. It's got a lot more weld on it than it had, and he'll be in business. If you guys want to know how I price out my work and how I would do something like this, especially for you guys looking to break out on your own and do your own thing, I'll have a link to a video, a recent video up above. Go ahead and check it out, and I explain in detail on how I price out jobs, both small and large. That's all there is to it, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. New videos every Friday, so until next week, I will see you guys then. If you're wondering about any of the tools that you see me using, I'll have links down below. Until next week, guys, I'll see you then. Take care, stay safe, and God bless.